Action films are like a roller coaster ride for your eyes and ears. They're packed with heart pounding excitement, from high speed car chases to explosive fight scenes. Imagine your average Joe suddenly becoming a superhero, dodging bullets, and leaping off buildings. Don't try this at home, folks. These movies often feature a brave hero facing off against a dastardly villain, with the fate of the world hanging in the balance. Of course, no action movie is complete without some cool gadgets and the over-the-top stunts that defy the laws of physics. Fun fact, Tom Cruise, the poster boy for action movies, does most of his own stunts. He even learned to hold his breath for 6 minutes underwater for Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. Talk about dedication, maybe he's secretly part fish? Comedy movies are like a tickle fest for your funny bone. They're all about making you laugh, giggle, and maybe even snort your popcorn. From silly slapstick humor to clever wordplay, these films come in all flavors of funny. Picture a clumsy waiter accidentally throwing a pie in someone's face, or a talking dog outsmarting its human owner. Comedy movies often take everyday situations and turn them upside down for laughs. Did you know that the longest recorded laugh by a movie theater audience lasted a whopping 3 minutes and 30 seconds? It happened during a screening of A Fish Called Wanda in 1988. That's a lot of belly-aching laughter. Drama films are like an emotional roller coaster for your heart and mind. They dive deep into the lives of characters, exploring their feelings, struggles, and relationships. Think of them as a really intense soap opera, but with better acting and fewer evil twins. Usually. These movies often tackle serious topics like love, loss, family issues, or big life changes. They might make you cry, think, or feel all warm and fuzzy inside, sometimes all at once. Here's a fun tidbit. The longest film ever made is a drama called Logistics 2012, and it runs for a mind-boggling 857 hours. That's over 35 days. It shows the entire journey of a pedometer from creation to purchase. Talk about dramatic. Just imagine the snack breaks you need for that movie marathon. Bring on the tissues and the snacks. Horror movies are like haunted houses for your TV screen. They're designed to scare your socks off and make you jump out of your skin. Not literally, thankfully. These films often feature creepy monsters, ghosts, or psycho killers that'll have you peeking through your fingers. From spooky old mansions to dark forests, horror movies love to put characters in situations that'll make your hair stand on end. They're great at building suspense, that feeling when you know something bad is about to happen, but you don't know when. Here's a spooky fact. Some theaters handed out fright insurance policies during screenings of the 1958 film Macabre. If you died of fright during the movie, your family would get $1,000. Talk about putting your money where your mouth is, or should we say, where your screams are. Science fiction movies are like a trip to the future in your comfy cinema seat. They take us to worlds filled with cool gadgets, alien creatures, and mind-bending ideas. Imagine flying cars, time travel, or robots that can think for themselves. That's the stuff of sci-fi. These films often explore what-if scenarios, like what if we could clone dinosaurs? Hello, Jurassic Park. Or what if machines took over the world? They mix real science with wild imagination to create stories that'll blow your mind. Here's a fun fact. In the 1902 science film A Trip to the Moon, the spaceship was actually shot from a giant cannon. Talk about a creative launch system. I bet those astronauts had one heck of a headache after that trip. Maybe next time they should try a space elevator, or at least some cosmic aspirin. Fantasy movies are like daydreams come to life on the big screen. They're packed with magic, mythical creatures, and worlds where anything is possible. Think talking animals, wizards casting spells, and heroes wielding enchanted swords. These films often take us on epic quests, where good battles evil in magical lands. You might see dragons soaring through the sky, elves living in enchanted forests, or ordinary folks discovering they have extraordinary powers. Here's a magical tidbit. The 1939 classic The Wizard of Oz used 3,210 separate wigs and 9,200 costume sketches to create its fantastical world. That's a lot of hair and clothes. Romance movies are like a box of chocolates for your heart. They're all about love, from the butterflies in your stomach first meetings to the happily ever afters, and sometimes the not so happy endings that make us cry into our popcorn. These films often follow two people as they fall in love, facing obstacles like misunderstandings, rival lovers, or meddling families. You'll see plenty of long gazes, passionate kisses, and grand gestures of love, like holding up a boombox outside someone's window. Here's a lovey-dovey fact. The longest on-screen kiss lasted 3 minutes and 24 seconds in the 1941 film You're in the Army Now. That's a lot of smooching. I bet the actors were glad they packed some breath mints that day. Thriller movies are like a wild ride for your nerves. They keep you on the edge of your seat, heart racing, as you follow intense stories full of suspense and excitement. These films often involve mysteries, crimes, or dangerous situations that the main characters must navigate. Thrillers love to play with tension, building it up slowly until you're biting your nails in anticipation. They might feature spies on secret missions, detectives solving complex cases, or ordinary people caught in extraordinary circumstances. The goal is to keep you guessing and feeling a bit uneasy until the very end. A key element in thrillers is the plot twist, a surprising turn of events that changes everything you thought you knew about the story. These twists often come near the end of the movie, leaving you shocked and eager to rewatch the film to spot all the clues you missed. An interesting detail. Alfred Hitchcock, known as the master of suspense, used a technique called the MacGuffin in many of his thrillers. This is an object or goal that drives the plot forward, but often turns out to be unimportant by the end of the story. It's like a decoy that keeps both the characters and the audience distracted while the real drama unfolds. Mystery movies are like giant puzzles that you can try to solve along with the characters on the screen. They usually revolve around a crime, a secret, or an unexplained event that needs to be figured out. These films often feature a clever detective, a curious journalist, or sometimes just an ordinary person who gets caught up in solving the mystery. As the story unfolds, you'll see clues being discovered, suspects being questioned, and the theories being tested. The fun part of mystery movies is that they invite you to play detective too. You'll find yourself trying to spot important details, guessing who the culprit is, or figure out what really happened before the characters do. Many mystery films use a technique called red herrings, false clues that lead the characters and the audience in the wrong direction. These keep you guessing and make the final revelation even more surprising. An interesting detail, the longest-running mystery series in film history is the Charlie Chan series, with 47 movies made between 1926 and 1949. That's a lot of mysteries for one detective to solve. Documentary films are like windows into real life. They show us true stories about real people, places, events, or ideas. Instead of made-up characters and plots, documentaries use actual footage, interviews, and facts to tell their stories. These movies can be about almost anything, from the life of a famous person to the habits of tiny insects. They might explore historical events, current issues, or scientific discoveries. Some documentaries follow people's lives, while others explain how things work or show us places we've never seen. Documentaries often aim to teach us something new, make us think differently about a topic, or inspire us to take action. They can be serious, funny, inspiring, or sometimes even shocking. Filmmakers use various techniques to make documentaries interesting, like narration, music, and creative editing. They might mix old footage with new interviews, or use animations to explain complex ideas. A fun fact, the longest documentary ever made is The Cure for Insomnia 1987, which runs for 85 hours. It shows a poet reading his 4,080-page poem, mixed with rock music clips and footage of a sculptor at work. That's one long movie night. Western movies are like time machines that take us back to the American Old West. They're set in the late 1800s when cowboys roamed the land and small towns were popping up all over the frontier. These films often feature tough heroes in cowboy hats, riding horses, and facing off against outlaws or Native American tribes. You'll see lots of gun duels, saloon brawls, and horseback chases across dusty landscapes. Westerns love to explore themes like law and order, survival in harsh conditions, and the clash between civilization and the wild frontier. An interesting detail, the famous Wilhelm scream sound effect used in many modern movies originated in the 1951 Western Distant Drums. It's named after a character in another Western who lets out this distinctive yell. Now this scream pops up in all sorts of films as a fun inside joke for movie buffs. Musical movies are like regular films with a soundtrack you can't help but sing along to. They mix storytelling with catchy songs and dance numbers, turning everyday moments into spectacular performances. In these movies, characters might suddenly burst into song to express their feelings or dance their way through a problem. You'll see everything from big group dance routines in the streets to intimate solo songs in a quiet room. Musicals can be about anything: romance, historical events, or even cartoon characters. They often use music to move the story forward or reveal what characters are thinking. An interesting detail, the longest single musical number in film history is the 14-minute Slaughter on 10th Avenue ballad in the 1948 movie Words and Music. Animation movies are like drawings or computer graphics that come to life on screen. Instead of using real actors, these films create characters and worlds from scratch using various techniques. There are different types of animation: hand-drawn cartoons, stop motion with clay figures or puppets, and computer-generated imagery, CGI. These movies can bring to life anything imaginable, from talking animals and magical creatures to futuristic robots and fantasy worlds. Animation isn't just for kids. Many animated films tackle complex themes and appeal to adults too. They can be funny, dramatic, or even scary. A funny detail: the longest time spent making a stop-motion animation film was 31 years. The movie The Overcoat was started by Russian animator Yuri Norstein in 1981 and is still unfinished. That's some serious dedication. Imagine spending more than 3 decades on a single project. Talk about patience. Crime movies focus on criminal activities and the people involved in them. These films often show both sides of the law: the criminals committing crimes and the police trying to catch them. You might see stories about bank heists, gangsters, con artists, or detectives solving cases. Crime movies can be thrilling, suspenseful, or even funny. They often explore themes like justice, morality, and the thin line between right and wrong. Many crime films are inspired by real events or based on true stories, which adds an extra layer of intrigue. An interesting detail: the 1903 film The Great Train Robbery is considered one of the first crime movies ever made. It was also groundbreaking for its use of innovative film techniques. One scene shows a cowboy shooting directly at the camera, which reportedly made some audience members duck for cover. War movies take us to the front lines of armed conflicts, showing the experiences of soldiers and civilians during wartime. These films can be set in any period, from ancient battles to modern warfare. They often depict the harsh realities of war, including combat scenes, life in military camps, and the impact on those back home. War movies might focus on epic battles, personal stories of soldiers, or the tough decisions made by leaders. These films can be intense and emotional, exploring themes like bravery, sacrifice, brotherhood, and the human cost of conflict. Some war movies are action-packed, while others are more thoughtful and dramatic. A scary detail: the 1930 film All Quiet on the Western Front was so realistic that it was banned in several countries for fear it might discourage people from joining the military. Its battle scenes were so convincing that some viewers thought they were watching actual war footage.